NCL is a corporate group in Andhra Pradesh and is known for its innovative and eco-friendly building materials with the best of technologies from around the world. NCL made its debut in the Indian industrial scene in the early 80s with a cement plant and soon diversified its activity and transformed into a group producing world-class building materials. The Bison Panel, a unique construction board. NCL introduced for the first time in our country Bison Panel, a cement-bonded wood particle board which is popular in 30 countries abroad, including Germany, UK, France, Japan, China, Malaysia, Russia, etc. Bison Panel, made with cement and wood flakes of plantation wood like eucalyptus and casuarina by a high-tech process made under controlled conditions, acquires tremendous strength and outstanding durability, unique properties that are not found in similar particle boards. Many countries abroad are using the panel for modular and semi-modular houses required for large colonies and camps. NCL Prefab Shelters. NCL set up prefab division in early 90s and carried out extensive R&D and came out with a variety of designs of prefab shelters ranging from a small security cabin to a large industrial shed. NCL has conducted severe tests on the prefab shelters to check their suitability in varied conditions. Fire test was conducted for watching the behavior of these shelters in withstanding the heat and fire. Rain test was conducted on the shelters to check the leak-proofness. Earthquake test was conducted simulating horizontal thrust, vertical shocks, multiple shocks and load tests to check the suitability in seismic zones. The very system of construction was tested in Structural Engineering Laboratory, Chennai, to check the strength and stability of the individual elements and the shelter as a whole. After thorough testing of the designs, a variety of shelters were supplied as per individual requirements to several reputed organizations in private and public sectors, including defense and paramilitary forces. Distinct features of NCL Prefab. Simple engineering. The shelters are constructed with track and panel system developed by NCL. This envisages the construction in a very simple, do-it-yourself style. Easy to transport. The elements of the shelters can be easily handled and transported to difficult terrains. Require very little foundation. The shelters are designed on the basis of lightweight and high strength, hence they are light and require very light foundations. Can be erected direct on level ground. They can also be installed on a structural steel framework laid on level ground, making the construction totally dry fix. Can be pitched like tents. In case of emergency, the shelters can be temporarily erected with guy rope supports as in the case of tent pitching. Speed of erection. The shelters can be erected or constructed in a short time. For example, a shelter of 1,000 square feet can be erected and made ready for occupation in less than 8 hours, which is incredible. Less skills required for construction. The technique involved in erection is simple and requires less skills. One trained hand with a handful of helpers can easily handle the erection work. Can be dismantled and re-erected in different place. If necessary, the shelters can be dismantled and re-erected in a different place with minimum damages. They are comfortable. As the Bison panels do not cause condensation and have better thermal qualities, the shelters are comfortable for cold as well as hot regions. However, provision of false ceilings with thermal packing is part of the system adopted in the shelters to ensure comfort. They are durable. As the chief material in the matrix of the bison panel is cement, the structures made with it are as durable as cement products. They are cost-effective. As most of the materials required for the shelters are made in-house by NCL, the shelters are cost-effective. Performance of NCL Prefab. NCL Prefab systems have flexibility and universality to adopt for a small shelter to a porch building with modern amenities and luxuries. The structures can be provided with amenities like false ceilings, corridors, lobbies, modern kitchen rooms, comfortable bedrooms, attached toilets and electrical fittings like fans, air conditioners, etc., as in the case of conventional buildings. The versatility of NCL Prefab Shelters and the capability of NCL Industries and its workforce has come into limelight nationwide when NCL took up the challenges of executing a Government of India order for supply of 750 shelters of about 1 million square feet for Jammu and Kashmir in 60 days for providing accommodation to CRPF during 1996 elections. NCL could execute the order in just 45 days and could grab another order for 100 shelters for Nagaland and Manipur, which followed Jammu order. Since then, NCL Prefab has never looked back and went on executing number of orders received from reputed organizations, including multinational companies, private and public sector organizations. Today, as majority of the bison panels produced in the factory are consumed by the prefab, NCL is setting up one more factory of double the capacity in Himachal Pradesh to meet the demand of north and northeastern regions of the country, as well as the demand for the board in other applications. Shelters for disaster management. Our land is often hit by the nature's fury that causes extensive damages and loss of lives and properties. We have witnessed in the recent past some of the worst situations of misery caused by flooding of rivers, tidal waves, cyclones, super cyclones, earthquakes and tsunami. Such furies often hit the regions caught unaware, giving very little time to escape. Whenever such situations arise, the government will not leave any stone unturned in mobilizing speedy, effective and efficient disaster management, that is, rescue, relief and rehabilitation. Distribution of food and clothes, however, reach in time by airdrops. But when the question of shelters for relief and rehabilitation is concerned, there are delays, as the system of instant housing was hitherto not available, and the organized sectors have not made a serious attempt in this field. Uttarkasi earthquake. In the early 90s, when earthquake rocked Uttarkasi, devastating over 30% of the houses in the region, it was then NCL focused its attention towards design of the shelters for disaster management and intensified its R&D towards instant housing. Latur earthquake. This was followed by an earthquake in Latur and Osmanabad districts of Maharashtra, worst of its kind ever visited our motherland. Several villages have perished, causing heavy death toll and irreparable loss of property. By then, NCL has come out with instant housing solutions and was able to supply few shelters for essential service organizations like telecom, health, etc. Orissa super cyclone. NCL supplied few shelters for a shopping complex to Municipal Corporation Bhubaneswar in 1997 for rehabilitation of roadside vendors. Similarly, NCL has erected a shelter for Oswald Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited in the sea coast of Paradip. These shelters were among the few that could withstand the super cyclone in 1999 with wind velocity of over 200 km per hour that hit the Orissa coast, flattening several permanent structures. During relief stage, NCL has supplied few barrack-type shelters for Binjaharpur, Jadua, Kayangol, Kayapoda of Jaipur district for schools and health centers. During tsunami of 2004, Government of India ordered for 150 shelters of different types for accommodating offices and staff of essential organizations. These shelters were shipped across the sea in containers for tsunami-affected Andaman and Nicobar Islands. During recent earthquake in Jammu and Kashmir, the CPWD has airlifted 27 sheds along with the crew for erection while combating the situation. Storing of prefab shelters as kits. If Government of India could procure these shelters in kit forms and store them at identified places near the vulnerable zones, they will be of great use for the government for effective disaster management. One trained worker with the help of 8 unskilled hands would be able to erect a shelter of 1,000 square feet area in about a day's time. Cost-benefit analysis. The cost of a gable shelter of size 16 by 64 feet with false ceiling and base frame is about 6 lakhs of rupees. This can accommodate 40 to 50 persons comfortably during relief operations. After rehabilitation, which normally takes 2 to 3 months, the shelters can be dismantled and taken back to respective stores. The cost of erection and dismantling, including damages if any, will not exceed 25,000 rupees. Thus, for a relief made to 40 to 50 persons to accommodate for a few months would be around 500 rupees per head, and this is negligible. Shelters under rate contract. Prototype shelters with stringent specifications developed by NCL for different applications are under DGS&D rate contract with Government of India. Hence, they can be procured by government organizations without waiting for tenders. NCL has been able to execute many bulk orders through this rate contract. NCL is proud of installing over 9,000 shelters throughout the country. NCL has also exported several shelters to Asian and African countries. In this context, NCL would like to impress that its prefab wing is always at your service to provide important backup with instant housing solutions, an essential and effective tool for disaster management, boosting the morale of the distressed people and of the country. NCL Prefab Shelters has many discerning clients. To name a few,